Right off the Barnary sub-stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shots so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You want it, we got it. Mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. BlackandNobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive, and remember other teams is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they wanna hide it from us, but we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding the bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel.
Philadelphia's first annual Writers' Conference on Urban and Incarcerated Experiences. The creation of L.S.D. Gonzalez and James Anderson, which is sponsored by Woolly Crown Production and BlackandNobel Bookstore.
Thanks for coming out. My name's Hakeem. Damani went to go move his car so he doesn't get a ticket. You know this is the home of the parking wars. But I'm honored and grateful that everybody came out. We've been working with the prisons since about 2004. I wouldn't even say with the prisons, but we've been working with the people that are incarcerated since 2004. And, you know, it's been a bit much for us to maintain what we do because, you know, we are connected with the families of the people that are incarcerated.
My name is John King. I'm here with my sister Rashida. We're representing our father, John Griffin, who wrote Sequence and Protocol, amongst other books that he has written in the last, I guess, about 6 years. This book is interesting for a lot of reasons and came about really out of reluctance from my father. He really didn't want to write this book. The issue with it, though, I think, is that people think that this is simply about organized crime or it's about the Nation of Islam, and it's really multifaceted. It's about that particular era, the 1960s, the politics of that particular era. It's about really the interplay, the interrelationship between black people in Philadelphia, but really all over the United States. Sort of what they're asking for, some of the things that are kind of obstructing their ability to get justice and freedom. The other thing that I was going to mention is that we are promoting also a contest because a lot of the characters that have been fictionalized, people believe that they are connected to some of the brothers that are known in the city. And so, right. And so, our father would like to provide, and we're trying to figure out what that prize is. I don't want to say exactly what the prize is, but there's a nice prize for anyone who can figure out the top 3 characters in the book and attach them to the names of some of the notable people that have been connected to this narrative in Philadelphia. Okay. So we thank you.
Thank you. I want to share one of the stories that a young lady wrote to Charlie about his book, his first book. The reader said that she picked up a copy of his first book, I'll Take Your Man. She wasn't too impressed with the title or the cover of the book for that matter. Yet, she purchased the book because she wanted to support the author, who she knew was incarcerated and was fighting for his freedom. The woman took the book home and started reading it. She said that she was immediately captivated by the story, but her husband and children kept interrupting her reading. She locked herself in the bathroom and dove into the story. When she finished reading, she was impressed and said that I'll Take Your Man was now her favorite novel. She also said that when she emerged from the bathroom, her husband had an attitude because he felt though that he had cheated on him because she had locked herself in the bathroom reading a book that was written by another man. Again, thank you everyone for their support in this organizing this experience and allowing me to be here today at Black and Nobel.
I'm here to represent Luis Suarez Gonzalez. I work with Brother Luis Gonzalez up in Grady Ford with an organization called UCAN, United Community Action Network, and we've been working with him, going up there with State Representative Ryan Waters for a little bit, going on 8 years now. And Brother Gonzalez has always been a brother who wanted to give back, and he asked me to represent him today, and I'm very, very proud to represent the brother. And I want to thank Brother Damani and all those who organized this affair. He wants to thank you all. Is an incarcerated, prolific writer who made his literary debut in 2010 with the critical acclaimed novel Damage, The Diary of a Lost Soul, and followed it up in 2011 with Still Damaged, The Coldest Bitch Ever. He then collaborated with Man and Unfaithful to the Game, in which he wrote under the pseudonym of Suarez. He became the first writer in the Pennsylvania prison system to have 4 critically acclaimed urban novels published in 1 calendar year. Damaged, The Diary of a Lost Soul, Still Damaged, The Coldest Bitch Ever, Unfaithful to the Game, a collaboration with Man in his newest novel, Lawless Intent, Murder in the Badlands. L.S.D. Gonzalez was born in the South Bronx and raised between the South Bronx and North Philly. He has been featured in several national documentaries: Red Clay Country, Steel, Concrete, and Paint, and Prison Dialogue, A Message to the Youth. He is the recipient of the Aura Award, World Fest Platinum Award, and the Cindy Gold Award. He attends Villanova University, is 3 classes short from a bachelor's degree. He is the president of the Latin American Cultural Exchange Organization, LACIO, a member of United Community Action Network, UCAN, and one of the founders of the Education Over Incarceration Scholarship. You can also, if you want to get his books, he's also an artist, and some of the art here will be auctioned off that Brother Gonzalez done. This piece here, this piece, that piece, and the top piece was all done by Gonzalez. The brother is donating the proceeds to this affair to the Philadelphia Masjid Lift Fund. We're trying to get a lift fund for our handicapped community, and he's going to donate some of the proceeds to that, as well as he's going to donate some of the proceeds to the Philadelphia School District to help our school deal with the supplies that they need. Many of us are aware of what's going on in the Philadelphia School District and the fact that they don't have a lot of supplies and whatnot. So he's going to donate whatever proceeds he get from this affair to that cause. Brother Gonzalez is a brother who have been incarcerated for quite some years, but he have never given up hope. He have never ever given up hope, and what he has done behind walls is unthinkable. Really, is the things that he have done as far as working with UCAN, United Community Action Network, an organization that goes in out of the public schools and deal with the children, talk to the children about the hazards of being incarcerated and the pitfalls that they may encounter and what they can do to keep themselves away from the prison system. All of these things Brother Gonzalez have are doing. And even though he's incarcerated, the body is incarcerated, but the mind is not, because he's still reaching out. And what he's doing behind bars, some of us that's out here on the streets are not doing. So I'm highly appreciative that he had chose me to be his representative, and he supports all the brothers who have been incarcerated and those who have their books. He sent word that he would want everybody to support them as well as himself, because they look at themselves as one big brotherhood. So again, thank you for allowing me to express these few words, and I trust and pray to Allah that you will support the brother by getting his books and getting some of his artwork. Thank you.
My name is Linda Carr, and I'm here today because I wrote a book called The Unnatural State of Many Black Communities in America. It's really an empowerment book. It's here to empower and just educate and share things from the perspective of someone who's living in these communities and seeing how we're destroying ourselves by our bad decisions. And that's my book. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me. I'm a professor of sociology at Villanova University. I specialize in looking at racial politics of incarceration. So I recently wrote a book looking specifically at the story that was happening to women. And it was a racially charged concept, but that people who are convicted of drug crimes are actually fundamentally flawed as human beings. So that they can't be rehabilitated, they have to be habilitated because they've never been socialized in the first place. And it's a genius profit strategy, because in this framework, nobody's ever done in their connection with the state. So the argument from the company was, we do this kind of radical drug treatment programming in the prison, and then the state has to continue to buy our services as people are cycled back out on probation and parole, and then beyond that. So my story is a story about race, and it's a story about gender, and then the profit motive as it was informing state prison policy. So I have a book here too. It's called Breaking Women, Gender, Race, and the New Politics of Incarceration. But I also wanted to rep several of the guys who have books here today. Are guys at Graterford that have been, Villanova runs a bachelor's degree program in Graterford. And so a number of them have been in my classes, and I think their books are fabulous.
My name is Brother Gregory X. Moore, and I served 33 years. I was released November 22nd, 2011. And I know Brother John, Brother Omar Sitstrom. I've worked with them. Currently, we fighting for parole for lifers. Our children need us. And there's hundreds and thousands of us throughout American prisons that are qualified to be released back into our community. We served our time, we reformed our lives, and it's time now for us to approach the United States Congress and tell them, as Moses went to Pharaoh, let my people go. Enough is enough. How long is the punishment? 2 life sentences. A life sentence and a death sentence. We know that blacks in America have suffered because of the effects of slavery, right? And today, we continue to suffer as the effects of slavery. Absolutely. And I'm a victim of the streets. At one time I was. I'm the young boy of the old heads that y'all talking about. All right? I changed my life. I wrote a book called Eyes of Dirt, Grassroots Poems of a Prison. I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk about my brothers that I left behind them walls, that you are families of, that deserve to be free. And we have to do all we can to get them out of those prisons. No more brothers should die in those prisons that deserves to be home. Now, you know, the differences of religion and all that, we need to put that aside. When a man is hungry, he's not going to ask you, are you Muslim or Christian?
That's right.
No, that's right.
He wants food.
That's what he wants.
Okay? So I didn't come to preach, I just wanted to share my thoughts. Okay? Because you need to see one and feel one that actually was behind those walls, struggling for life, constant lockdown. I'm not here to whine and all that. I'm a worker, I'm a laborer, and all I want to say is don't close the doors to your own family. Thank you.
Brother Gregory just spoke about being incarcerated. I myself did 20 years. I have family that's incarcerated. I have Bucky Davis, my family, he's incarcerated. But I wanted to give some clarity to something that it touched me a little bit because I had the opportunity to spend numerous days and nights with John Griffin. I think that one of the most important things that we should do in getting the book is understanding that a history took place. And it's like any other kind of history that we ever experience or want to know something about. Prior to 1975, the world took a change, especially in America, dealing with Black America. And that was, if you go back to 75, you know, during that period of era, everything was being pro-Black. Whether we agree, say what was wrong, what was criminal, what was not, what was this. But after 75, things changed. Everybody wanted to be liberal, everybody wanted to deal with religion, but now you look at our streets. So I'm saying that to say that when you read the book, you have to be able to look at the protocol aspect of how a person get instructions, because that's what protocol is. And I think that instead of us looking at some of the crimes and some of the things that they say people was accused of, we just have to look at the reality that nobody committed a crime more than what America done. They killed more Blacks than any history that we ever had. So I think that when we look at brothers that's incarcerated, instead of looking at what they're in there for, what they say they're in there for, all of them deserve to be liberated. After a period of time that you stay incarcerated, you do your time, you get rehabilitated, you should be free.
And a lot of people's probably like, why am I here? As a people, as Black people, we are too reactive. We need to be proactive. That's right. We need to start this from the front end, so that way we can prevent the outcome in the end. And that's really why I'm here.
I'm here with Dr. McCorkle, but my father told me about this event when I spoke to him on the phone yesterday and today. He wanted me here. He's been incarcerated for 40 years for murder. And I'm good. I have a good relationship with Brother John Griffith, Terrell Carter, and Suave, Louis Gonzalez, because they're all incarcerated at Graterford. And I'm just here to support the brothers, man, and help them get their stories out. And maybe we can help some people to prevent them from coming in.
Right. Yeah, man.
I think it's very important for brothers to get their stories out because it shows like the genius that's incarcerated. You know what I mean? Like you have brothers that write, like Terrell Carter is an incredible writer. If you've ever read any of his work, like I would put him up against some of the best authors on the planet. That's how detailed his work is. Like his sister said, you can feel, taste, and smell his work. When you read it, you feel, taste, and smell his writing. And that brother's a genius. But you would never know that because society says he's disposable. Lock him up, give him a life sentence. And unfortunately, the environments we come from, it's only when we had that time to reflect and learn and grow and improve that you discover what your true calling is. And his calling is a writer. There's no second guessing that. And I'm sure he could write screenplays, plays, he could do anything that he was given the opportunity to do. But society denies him that. So that's why it's so important for us to, allow these brothers' voices to be heard. And it's really like telling the establishment, these are men. You know what I mean? You can't define them as men in spite of what you do and in spite of what you try to label them as.
Book and what Brother Gregory said is the answer to my sister's question. She said, how? She asked the question. She said, how do we do it? How do we reach our people? The first thing to reaching your people, number one, is love. You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. You have to pray to a higher being, regardless to who that being is, regardless to what your faith is. There's only one creator of the heavens and the earth. It's only one. That's it. And the key is giving ourselves and our people knowledge. The sister said the reason why she wrote the book was because of the conditions of our people, the conditions of our community. So when we can't find the strength within ourselves to support a loved one, we need to find someone to lean up against, to help us help one another. We're one people, one community, and without each other, we're nothing. Just like in our human body, that the rest of the body can't function without the brain, without the heart, without the lungs, without different parts. Well, we can't function without one another. We really can't. We think we can. But if we have a family and the father's not there, the mother's not there, your big brother's not there, your little sister's not there, that's the family, the body broken up. And we can't function without each other. We're sick without each other. So the key is our unity, regardless to where we come from, regardless to who we are. This is our ID badge, our color. Where we come from, that's our ID badge. So regardless to what our differences are, we're all suffering the same pain.
That's right.
We're losing our families, we're losing ourselves, we're losing our community, we're just losing all the way around. So the key is our unity. Thank you.
I was invited out to this event, and I'm so glad that I was. It was very powerful. I do look forward to the conference next year. The vision was presented. I highly believe in it. I do have a strong passion to support incarcerated men and women, and I expect great things out of this meeting today.
Well, the first thing, of course, we have to have a strong family foundation on the outside, or a strong community foundation where the family and the community is ready to receive us. To use myself as an example, I was fortunate to have family members that's still alive, that still love me, and still support me. And as a result of that, you know, it empowered me. And I went to school, to Harris School of Business in Upper Darby, down 69th and Market, and I took a course in dental and became a dental assistant. I graduated April this year, and I never thought that I would be a doctor. Right. So, with those kind of connections with our family and our community, we can make a difference with our reentry. And yes, those that don't have those connections, we need to reach out to them. And that's what we do with the Nation of Islam Prison Reform Ministry. We do our best. We're working with little like the most of us in organizations, but we need to do what we can do. And I'm a living witness that it can be done.
In the 18 years I've been in prison, I've encountered some of the most intelligent, talented people I've ever encountered in my life. I've seen brothers make figures and models of trucks and planes from cardboard with working engines and lights. Like, you know, like they worked in a toy factory and they did it in spare time. I've seen brothers, you know what I mean, come up with all types of ingenious plans and designs, but they're disposable according to society. It's time for us to stop listening to society and start looking at ourselves, you know, really helping each other. And that's why this is important, and that's why this is a great venue.
Like, the youth out here is messed up, because I got like a couple friends that was incarcerated already, and they got out and they're doing the same thing that they was doing when they got out. So it's no like real education and knowledge going from, you know, one place to another. It's like point A to point B, back to point A to get to point B again. It's a lot of repetition that's unnecessary. So it's like, I like to hear about stuff like this, so when I get back to my friends, it's like, yo,
I have a huge concern with people who've been incarcerated. It's not when they're incarcerated I have a problem about, it's when they get out. My husband was incarcerated for 5 years, and I think what happens is when they come out so system, so broken.
Actually, I want to be able to get everybody's information so we can continue this more than actually once a year, because it's a big deal.
we will accommodate, brother.
Thank you.
Whatever we want to do from here, let's stay in touch so that we can take it further and make it expand.
Yes. And it's really not even just about the people that are in there now. It's that they're planning for the babies to be there. So I'm able to load up this footage today and make it viral with the click of a button. But I need y'all to verbally go tell your friends and family what we did today, which is a big deal. This is the first time to have an actual book signing in a bookstore with the friends and families of people that we may not see out here again. So that is a big deal. That's historical.
Yes.
So I'm honored, like I said, that we had it here. But thank you, because we are going to need more space. If this is the first one and we only handed out 100 flyers, probably not even that. So this is how big it is now, but I think it could get huge by next year. So let's all try to make this happen, because everybody here is affected by somebody that is incarcerated.
I am so touched by that event.
Wow.
It is still running through my mind.
But I think that the energy that was in here today, that's what I was trying to say. Like how you just called me and I just called you back. It's not that hard for us to stay in touch. And what happened is, because what we wanted to do, we wanted to be the platform for the families to still be able to connect with each other.
Yeah.
Because you go to jail doesn't mean that you're not family no more. That's not right. That means it's like they locked you up and threw away the key. So we got to show some support. So when they get something as simple as a letter, that's like golden in there.
Yes, I agree. You know what, Hakeem? I want to do something with you. Definitely.